people, I'm not here trying to, obviously I'm someone who I feel like I'm 1 foot in the industry, 1 foot not in the industry. I think I'm in the industry because this is the line I've been saying recently. Because a lot of y'all, based on what you see on my stream, again, I read all my DMs. So I'll see y'all DM me sometimes and be like, yo, Ak, you got to stop thinking these guys are your friends. Look how this guy's treating these people. Did you get an invite? Do they treat you like this? And, I want to let y'all know how I really feel about all rappers. And this is exactly how I feel. Do I feel like I do have maybe some people who I consider friends? Yes. But I do feel like the rap industry, my relationship with it, and I like this relationship. They need me more than they hate me, and I'm good with that. You feel me? And that's a Drake line. You feel me? They need me more than they hate me. I'm pretty sure if we didn't have the sizable platform and the influence we did, and they could have got rid of us a long time ago, we would have. So, again, I'm playing the game too. These motherfuckers is facetious. I've heard some of these niggas allegedly talk shit about me. And then when they talk to me, they talk very nicely. Oh, yo, Ak, I can't wait to come up there to do an interview. Yo, Ak, yo, shit, yo, man, I was going to hit you up. Okay, I get it. You're trying to sell a record. So, please, I know it's very popular for y'all to be like, man, Ak is just mad green. I've made more than 85% of these rappers. I didn't do it by being stupid. Just remember that, okay? Sometimes you got to play the fool to catch a wise, but that is my official role, and I like that. They need me more than they hate me, right? I don't think none of these rappers really like me. But I've made a couple public examples. You know what every rapper thinks about before they get into it with me? Well, when he gets into it with a motherfucker, let's think about what has happened. Look at Meek Mill. I think that I've probably caused $1 million in PR damage over there. Do you get what I'm saying? Why would you want to get into it with someone who could possibly do that? Lil Baby, his album was slated to come out. He was supposed to drop some shit last year. Based on how we've issued a microscope on the trash shit he's been dropping, there is no timeline. I don't think that's probably beneficial to their situation. The point I'm trying to say, these niggas don't got to be my friend, but I'll definitely want them to realize they should keep it cute. And what I mean by keep it cute, I know it's a female term. Hey, you're in this game just like I'm in this game, and you have your influence, I have my influence. I think the best thing to do is to get along, not to try to disrespect each other. And I think that's my relationship with most rappers. We're not friends, but they're like, you know what? Ak serves his purpose. I could use Ak for this. He might say this about me, but I'm gonna have to. It comes with the game, and I like that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be these niggas' friends. I ain't trying to be at their freak offs. I'm not trying to be at their parties. I'm not trying. I'm kind of good off all of that. And I think all that comes to celebrating you guys and just what we've built, because I don't think we're at this point if we don't have that dominating presence. Okay, cool. I guess that was just me talking about. I see, because I've been seeing a lot of like DMs recently. People like, yo, Ak, yo, bro, watch out for so and so. You know he don't fuck with you, and I'm like, bro, you think I'm thinking these guys are like my best friends, my nigga? No, like half of them I haven't met. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter to me. You know. Okay, cool. Beyond that, I'll tell you what we're gonna get into today. More allegations about Diddy. Diddy's son, the one that actually was seeming like he wasn't involved in all this shit, Christian Combs, the one that looks exactly like Diddy, he's now receiving lawsuits that are about to be filed. I want to be fair, and this is what I was trying to say. Like, I don't come on here. I want you guys to think, especially if you've been tuning into my Diddy coverage, and we do deep dives and shit like that. Please don't come on here thinking that I'm just coming to kick Diddy's back in, like, no Diddy with that. But we're trying to figure out things that would not be known to us if we didn't do our due diligence. And also we're trying to figure out the truth, but we're not here to try to skew the truth. And, Diddy might be guilty of 99 things, but that one thing he ain't guilty of, we're not going to come and just say, nah, he guilty of 100, right? We're trying to still be fair. And we're going to explore some of the tactics that I see certain individuals taking, which is, I think is going to hurt the process of, let's say there are actually real victims of Diddy. It's now looking a little bit goofy in certain senses. And I'll explain a little bit. Stevie J spoke out. We also have footage of the raid. We're going to get into that.
wonder, there's something up with the volume. I might have to do something.
Also, interestingly enough, we should, and I don't know if I should start off with this first. Metro Boomin, aka Metro Schmollett. I've never seen a producer so thirsty to be thought of as the rapper. If you want to be that, go be Kanye West. He's gloating on Twitter about picking, y'all niggas gotta pick a side. Nigga, you make beats. Shut up. But of course he's, acting like he slayed the dragon. He took down the king. Also, I think this is one of the most interesting times because Metro, even though I don't think I think he's done a great job of orchestrating shit, but he's about to experience the Meek Mill effect. What rappers and a lot of sometimes celebrities don't know, and sometimes I've gotten caught up in this, they never know when to shut the fuck up. Drake ain't respond yet. Drake been posting goofy captions, and Metro can't stop talking. It's now made Metro look crazy. Metro's lying like, oh, I was hacked. No, I wasn't, not hacked. It's kind of looking crazy, okay? A few other things still happening in hip-hop. Maybe we even start off with this. Yo, my boy. Let me see. Let's start off with this off top. By the way, y'all all doing good? Make sure I read some comments and make sure, got to make sure y'all are feeling good today. I love these midday streams that go into the night, but not too late into the night. Because, I'll be up at like 3 a.m. streaming, and I'm wondering, I'm like, yo, how many people are really watching me at this time? Like, it'll say like a number, but how many people are really watching me? I don't know. Okay. Let me just put up some comments.
That's what I do gotta do just to get the value.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get some 50 shit. Zoe, I see you, my boy. R.I. says Metro turned to Twitter figures. Yeah. Drill, I see you. Princess Reality. What's going on with you, bro? Blank Solo wants to talk about Adam 22. Okay. Reese, I see you, my boy. Freaky Boy Dre. What type of name is that, man? Like,
I can't find a value.
Javon. It's a big up Jamaica. Somebody says, Blue Moon says, stop bleach at night, act. Do I look like I'm bleaching?
Found a value.
When I was a little kid, I was like super light skinned. Okay. I've gotten dark over the years. Is that normal? Like, if you look at my baby pictures, I'm like about 4. Like, my baby pictures, like, I'm the skin complexion of like Chris Brown. I kid you not, I swear.
What?
Over the years, I've just gotten darker.
Like,
I think that's natural, though, right? So I said Drake album mode is going to be crazy. Okay. Jigget7133 says, oh, this rain is killing me. Yeah, yo, where you guys at? Because, I'm on the East Coast and it's just raining all day. I bought that little raggedy car. I haven't driven it yet because it's only raining. Somebody said, freak boy, that's a crazy name. You're right. Somebody said, how do I get into Discord? I haven't talked about Discord in a while. Discord.gg. Go to your browser. Okay, I'll do it right here in front of you. Just look. So here we go. Discord.gg/academics. You type this in. You hit enter. I'm already in the Discord, clearly. But it's going to bring you to a thing, and it's going to say join.
All right, hold on. Let me pause this real quick. What's going on, chat, man? We in the mother effing building, man. Y'all boys, it's your boy DJ Grimlock. Welcome to Stay Woke TV. We getting straight to it, man. Where we left off, I think. What quest we was? Oh yeah, we was in the Black Mountain quest. Okay, I guess we'll figure out how to we'll finish this. But I guess the best way to figure this out is to go to Oxhorn. Because we're stuck. And that's not good. We don't want to be stuck. Make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe button, man. Thank y'all for all the support y'all give me. We doing this shit for real.
Should be fought ferocious.
I'm stuck at a part where I can't get the door open. So now, let's see if Oxhorn can give us a clue to how we can unlock.
Recently, I've heard about several incidents where some of you have been running away from a fight where battle cattle were involved. This is not acceptable. No self-respecting soldier of Utopia should ever be seen running like a scared little human. Ah! I don't even know why I try. It's not like the dum-dums are even going to understand this. You heard her, Utobitha. Beware the battle cattle, but don't fear the battle cattle. More after this.
Again with the battle cattle. I'm thinking that's gotta be the Legion just because of their banner. Because Brahmin aren't aggressive, there's no need to fear them. And yeah, there are bighorners, but bighorners aren't cattle. They're mutated or evolved rams. Maybe Tabitha doesn't know the difference. That's always possible. And it would make more sense in light of her other comment about the NCR riding the Legion. It would make more sense that they were riding bighorners. But we never see any NCR riding bighorners. I'll just chalk this up to Tabitha's crazed paranoia due to her stealth boy exposure. After killing this super mutant at the lookout tower with the missile launcher, we can loot the corpse to find Annabelle, a unique missile launcher in excellent condition, which does plenty of damage. From this tower, we can turn off the radio broadcast, in case you've had just a bit too much Tabitha and Utobitha for the day. Now on this mountaintop, we find 3 structures. To the south, with the satellite dish on top, is a 2-storied primary headquarters here at Black Mountain. This is where we find Tabitha. Directly north of this building is the Black Mountain storage. This is where we find a scavenger hunt and the deactivated remains of Rhonda. And north of this building, we find a cell. This is where Tabitha is keeping Raoul. Now, when we arrived at Black Mountain, we were given the quest Crazy, Crazy, Crazy. To complete the quest, we have to get rid of Tabitha. There are 3 ways to do it. I'm going to show you each way. The first is the straightforward way, to kill her in her headquarters. We step into the broadcasting building first floor. This brings us to a room with a number of whirring and whizzing and buzzing machines. In this room, we find a locked terminal. Unlocking it, we can read some interesting pre-war lore. This facility was run by a company called Hermes Communications. Due to their name Hermes, they're likely part of the giant Poseidon Energy conglomerate. We already know that Poseidon Energy has worked with the military a lot, so it's likely that whatever Hermes Communication was doing here was for the United States military. After the Battle of Anchorage, they picked up a bunch of activity from China's satellite network. The broadcasts they've been intercepting has scared many of the workers here. One of the men, named Frank, had been talking about finding a place for his family in one of the Vault-Tec vaults. When he didn't show up for work one day, everyone here knew where he went. Next, we get to see the bombs drop on Nevada in real time. We see a log written 2 minutes before the first bombs fell. The author is shocked. He thinks that China must have sent everything they had. He can't even count the number of launches he's detecting, and it's coming from everywhere. We then find a note from just after the bombs dropped, and the author can barely type. The mountains shielded them from the worst of the blast, but there's still too much radiation, so much that this person can't even finish his note. And the final note, written almost 200 years later, comes from Marcus, the Gen 1 super mutant who first founded the colony here at Black Rock Mountain. He chose this place because it's still highly irradiated, which is going to keep them safe from raiders and other human villains. But even though he's a super mutant, Marcus expresses a lot of sympathy for humanity. He says the first thing we need to do is get all of these corpses out of here. Those poor bastards. These were the corpses of the people working here when the bombs dropped. In the back of this room, we find a second terminal, also locked. This is Tabitha's personal terminal. The first note comes from Tabitha when she was still subordinate to Marcus. She wrote it just after arriving and just after she lost her pet robot, Rhonda. Marcus told her to write this journal as a way to take her mind off of missing Rhonda, but she does so unwillingly. She clearly resents Marcus's authority. Tabitha is pretty smart. It was she who discovered that this was a radio station, that they could send out a broadcast. One of the reasons she decided to create her super mutant radio show is because it reminded her of trekking across the wastes with Rhonda. They used to listen to the radio together. She again expresses how much she misses Rhonda. She tried to get the other super mutants here to help repair Rhonda, but none of them could repair a robot, and she also doubts that they could fix up this radio station. Despite that, she managed to get the radio station fixed, and it's here we begin to see Tabitha first develop her delusional second personality embodying her robot Rhonda. She clearly sets herself aside from first-gen super mutants. As a Nightkin, she sees herself as superior. The split personality of Rhonda in her mind is telling her that the first-gen super mutants are only a step up from the second-gen dum-dums, as she called them. Then there was a fight between the First Gen and the Nightkin. Marcus broke it up and then made a big speech about saying how the Nightkin and the First Gen needed to work together. But Tabitha is stoking the flames of class warfare here. She says, "Why should we work together? We Nightkin were Master's
Bro, why
favorites. We don't need..." What was I thinking? She got Raoul to install security measures on her door, the door that leads to her private chambers, and just in case she has a, quote, dum-dum moment, she stashed a key to her home behind the stairs just behind this building. This tells us that even the exceptionally intelligent Nightkin can sometimes slip into second-gen stupidity. Alright, well now we know that there's a key that opens up her room. Heading out the door, we see a stairway right in front of us. Going behind, we see a small patch of recently moved dirt.
See, how the heck
Activating
am I
this,
supposed to
we
find
loot
that?
the key. Heading up the stairs, we can use the key to open the door to the broadcast building's second floor. In here, we find Tabitha, who attacks.
I found the intruder! Foreseeing your death!
After Tabitha is dead, we can loot the place. We can use Tabitha's key to open up a trunk. It has a whole bunch of ammunition and a couple of varmint rifles, and the trunk beneath it, which has even more ammunition. On some sort of recording device, we find a note called the Repair Note number 3. This was a note from Tabitha to Raoul. She says that Rhonda made her angry, and so she threw this recording device. Please fix. More evidence of Raoul's job as a handyman here at Black Mountain. The only other thing we find in here is some sheet music that we can loot. The most northerly building. Inside we see a workbench and a number of toolboxes. Tabitha asked Raoul to take some notes on this terminal. He tells us that the super mutants here at Black Mountain have taken to kill me. After that, Raoul tried to escape. After he was caught, upon he will travel. Mutants really are idiots. Expertise. And
Alright,
Aunt
how do you
Cuddles
have the
came in a
key?
problem, but shocked with is how Cuddles only Raoul can fix. Raoul changes the password to 123456789. Well, at least we have the password now, so we can get into his cell easily. Incidentally, right next to this terminal,
Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay.
we find a small named toy car. A unique item in the game, and the name of this car is Cuddles' car. This is the car that Cuddles the super mutant brought to Raoul with a gallon of gasoline to fix. Oh man, these second-gen mutants really are idiots. But now that we have the password, we can use the terminal next to Raoul's cell to unlock the door. Heading inside, we see the ghoul Raoul sitting at a ragged Raoul outside. Tabitha intervened, and right next to this terminal, we find a small... Oh man, these...
The only reason you'd fight.
Raoul?
Name's Raoul.
We can use the terminal next to Raoul's cell to unlock the door. Heading inside, we see the ghoul Raoul sitting at a...
Alright. Okay, what about the other guy who's outside?
The launcher is probably the... and unlock a catastrophic damage. All you gotta do is flip the right switch to reset the AI, and the robot jumps to life.
Hello, could you please direct me to Mistress Tabitha?
Both choices here have the exact same result, so we'll choose... Sure, Rhonda, I'll take you to her.
Thank you very much. My internal clock says it's been 6 years, 52 days, 40 minutes, and 13 seconds since I last spoke to her. I hope she hasn't gotten lonely.
Poor Tabitha missing her friend Rhonda for 6 years. Well, with that, Rhonda actually disappears. She doesn't follow you, but we can step outside to find her.
Please, Mistress Tabitha.
Take this.
Yeah, what does this guy
Now
say?
that Tabitha's gone wandering the wastes with her best friend Rhonda, there is no one left to radicalize these super mutants and make them hostile to humans. That's why these guys are coming to Black Mountain for refuge, but they're not hostile. And that, ladies and
Alright, forget it. Doesn't matter. How am I supposed to find that key? How was I supposed to find that key? That was the craziest thing. I never seen that in the history of histories. Then I'd be like, all right, we're just gonna put the key to the door behind. Like, why would you do that?
For me, he's going to say continue because I'm already in it. Okay, it notices I'm in it. But yeah, that's all you gotta do. Pretty easy. Brown Skin Dragon, what's up with you, girl? Somebody said 12 a.m. in Miami dropping soon. I'm gonna be honest with you. 12 a.m. in Miami is not what we need to respond to Kendrick.
Actually, should we just full screen it? Because this might just be game time. We'll get to act later when it gets boring. All right, bet. Fuck it. Game time. Full screen it. Where is it? Where's the game? There we go. All right. There we go. Bro, where the hell was those stairs, bro? They were over here. Oh, lockpick of 50. What is this? Well, these are the only stairs I see here. So wait, are you trying to tell me I can't get there unless I have... That's it. Oh, okay. Okay. Why would I be able to find a key behind it?
Took you long enough, so can I go now? Sorry. I assumed the only reason you'd fight past a horde of super mutants and pick the lock on myself is if you heard my cry for help on the radio. But maybe you're just sightseeing. So since the door's open and all, can I go now? Name's Raul. Raul Alfonso Tejada. I'm the mechanic around here. Probably because it used to be Miguel's. Whoever he was. How about if you let me go, huh, boss? Sure, boss. I'd be happy to prolong my captivity and psychological abuse to tighten some lug nuts for you. I haven't heard a fresh batch of crazy. Alrighty then. I'll just head out, alone, by myself, into the dangerous waste. If by some chance you want to find me again, and if by some even greater chance the coyotes haven't picked my bones clean, I'll be at my shack.
500 XP, quest finished. Good. Alright, let's talk to that nigga in the front.
Hey!
Good work, human. Maybe now this place can rest in peace. Who knows? It might stay abandoned, get used as a base for raiders, or even become another colony for mutants. The future is not written, human, and it is foolish to squint at what cannot be seen. I still have a job to do here. Some mutants may have heard Tabitha's broadcast and are headed here even as we speak. I'll remain and direct anyone who show up toward Jacobstown, where they'll be much better off. There's nothing here for you, human. Though it is always good to see you.
Alright then. That's the end of that mission. Good mission. Good work. Just replenish some health here. And we're back on that generation. Oh, vote 11? Want to take a trip? Let's take a trip. Scorpions Clutch. Actually, I couldn't find that last time. Let's try to go Black Rock Cave. Pretty sure there's a gun in there. Oh, I get it. Okay. I'm gonna need a hunting pick to get in there. Davis. Actually, it's probably not a good idea to go to a vault when I have all this shit in here I gotta sell. You know what? Let's just go sell this shit first. Oh, actually, we're in the perfect spot too.
Still making a nuisance of yourself? There's usually a gun merchant hanging around topside. I'm sure she'll take care of you.
Wait, what?
Take a look. I took last time. Man, we ain't giving you shit, bro. But you ain't got shit, we ain't giving you shit. We out of here, bro. Gunman Missouri's.
Welcome, sir or madam. Do you wish to purchase something? Welcome, sir or madam. Do you wish to purchase something? I am ready to process our transaction.
Sheesh. Actually, hold on. Boy, it's gonna be...
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you? You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you?
Using a fire axe? I fuck with it. Nah, but I want her to use a super sludge. She got the super sludge.
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
Yeah, now she ready. She got super slow. Knock someone out with that, but alright, we good. We good. You got all the guns from him? Got everything for you? Good. Now let me slowly get my gun over here. And nigga, I hope you got money.
Welcome,
Because
sir or madam. Do you wish to purchase something?
I'm about to clean you out. I got all the guns for you, my boy. Strapped up like the Navy. There you go. I ain't gonna lie, I don't think you got enough money. But God damn, we already at the end. I knew because we killed too many of those big ass niggas, man. But the good thing is, the gun runners usually have all the ammo we use. Let's offset this price. Ooh, perfect. Take those. Take the hollow points. Take the 50 cal too. Take the 12 gauge. 12 gauge shells. We're gonna take the 20 still. Oh, we'll take the 24. Right there we go. Nigga, we strapped. I feel like taking the high explosive ones just for the hell of it. Yeah, high explosive. We buying them shit too. Lucky. What bullets does this gun take? Okay, yeah, let's take those too. Yeah, armor pistol, let's take those too. Olive point, take them. Bet. Sledgehammer. I have a super sledge actually. I think that's it. For the weapons. Yeah, you can take them television glasses and them shirts. Ooh, Wasteland Survival Guide. Ooh, I'm gonna keep that. repairs current weapon. Yeah, let's keep that. I ain't never seen that. Coyote hide, you can have that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the conductor. Baseball, make him a hammer. Let's keep that. Yeah, that. Let's take that shit. Oh, the Night Stalker belt, we keep that. I remember somewhere that we needed it. Central module, keep that. Sheet music dude, I don't know what the hell that is, but we'll keep it anyway. Oh, Red Scorpion thing, we can sell that. Oh, yeah, we'll keep that. The rest of this, I think we're good. Brush gun. That nigga love me as a
Come
customer.
back and see us again soon.
I'll be putting straight cash in that nigga pocket. Alright, Jit. Be safe. Wait, what is this place, huh? Try it. Interesting. The one with the no, the mantises? Okay. Let me give you that big ass sledgehammer for no reason, bro.
nearby, the human dignity block, and the lying next to one is a 10mm pistol. Let's see if we can find any information that can help The Brotherhood of Steel have sent us to Vault 11 to get a differential pressure controller to fix their faulty air filtration system. Nestled in the mountains southwest of Trading Post 188, we find a shack door leading to the entrance to Vault 11. Inside, we have to kill a few mantises, but we see that the vault door is already open. Walking up to the entrance, we find a number of skeletons on the floor. 4 to be exact, all huddled up in the same spot. Lying next to one is a 10mm pistol. Let's see if we can find any information that can help explain this. On a table against the nearby wall, we find a terminal, and inside the terminal is the vault entrance security recording. Ejecting this holotape, we can load it up into our Pip-Boy to hear what's on it.
Are we really gonna do this? It's open. We could just leave.
I couldn't. Not after that.
We don't deserve to leave. A shining example. That's what it called us. But we were. We did what we were supposed to. Not by a long shot. Anybody would have done what we did.
You ask me? That's exactly the problem. Now let's get on with this.
I'll go first. Wait. People should know what happened. They could learn from it. If there's anyone out there at all, I hope they never have to find out. Ready, Harry? Yeah. No, wait!
Oh God, what happened? It sounds like they committed suicide, or wait, did Voice 1 kill them? It's kind of hard to tell. It sounds like they were planning to commit suicide. Voice 1 argued against it because they were guilty about something. They did something that shames them. Voice 1 didn't want to commit suicide. He says, anyone would have done the same thing in our situation, and the other voices say, exactly, that's the point. The shots sounded like they happened too quickly for each person to commit suicide. It almost sounds like Voice 1 shot them. Is it because they were going to kill him first? Let's see if we can find out more. What stands out most to me is we find some interesting propaganda posters on the wall that appear to be unique to this vault. We don't find them anywhere else in the wasteland. Rumors about Haley are baseless. Vote Stone for Overseer. Don't vote Glover. His family needs him. Haley is a known adulterer and communist sympathizer. Elect Haley for Overseer. I hate Nate. Glover has done nothing wrong. Vote for Stone. Rumors about Haley are baseless. Vote Stone for Overseer. Sounds like whatever happened at this vault to cause those 4 people to commit suicide happened right in the middle of a heated election cycle. An election cycle where the residents are electing the next Overseer of the vault. Going through the opening, we come to a room with 3 doors in it and a rat. After killing the rat, let's first go through the door that says clinic above it. Inside, we kill a mantis to find skeletons, some of which are dismembered, lying on tables in the middle of the clinic. Some of the tables still have blood splatter nearby, and there's even blood splatter on the floor. We find bodies lying on the ground. I'm getting a picture that something catastrophic happened here. The wounded or dead were brought to the clinic where they were treated, but not before the end of the vault happened. That's why these bodies were never put in caskets or cremated or otherwise disposed of. There was enough time to try and tend to the sick like you would do in a normal society, but then that society collapsed suddenly. Heading out the northern door, we can explore the bathrooms on this level. The one directly across from us is the men's. We don't find much in here, but we also don't find any skeletons lying on the toilet. Now, if you've ever explored any of these post-apocalyptic scenes, we often find bodies in the bathrooms. This is because when the nuclear bombs hit, the radiation or the blast was sudden and instant, killing people where they sit. But we don't see any of that here. None of these corpses are going to the bathroom, and the story is the same in the women's restroom. Kill a mantis, but none of these stalls have any corpses. This makes me think that whatever happened here wasn't a natural disaster or some sort of mass man-made catastrophe, but instead must have been the offspring of social disorder. People were out and about. People were actively engaged in something. They weren't sitting back and death rolled over them. They were actively engaged in whatever transpired here. Going down the hallway, we see more posters. Interestingly, the I Hate Nate poster has been graffitied. It now says I Hate Kate. Continuing down this hallway, we find stairs leading down, but we want to finish exploring this floor first. So heading back, we've already explored the clinic, the bathrooms, and we came from maintenance. So we'll go through the only remaining door. This brings us to a classroom on the left-hand side. It's empty. No corpses, no writing on the walls, not a whole lot of loot, but we do find a public terminal. And here is where we find 3 of the most prominent notes that are on every single terminal in this vault. The first is the Vault 11 election guide. This guide was written by Roy Gottlieb, the chairman of the coalition of the Vault 11 voting blocks and the president of the Justice Bloc. So the inhabitants of this vault have been split into different blocks or political parties, each of which has their own president and each of which come together to vote for a new overseer after a certain amount of time. Roy calls this voting guide the Dweller's Official Guide to Obtaining Overseers Democratically, or Do Good. Ugh. Like many voting guides, it summarizes each of the overseers running for office, their statements, key positions, and interestingly, most importantly, it says their endorsements, the people who have endorsed their nomination. The first nominee for overseer is a man named Henry Glover. He has been endorsed by the Utilitarian Bloc, the Divine Will Bloc, and the Allied Service Workers Bloc. Let's read his profile, penned by Henry Glover himself. He says, "I'm a devoted husband and father of 6 beautiful children. My oldest, Sam, was on the honor roll this quarter, and I couldn't be prouder of him. My youngest, Henry Jr., just said his first word, and it was Dada. We've got this bond already, and he's still just a baby." Friends, when we go to the polls this election, I want you to think of your own children. Then I want you to think of Sam and Henry Jr. Picture their faces. Nate Stone should be overseer, not me. The next candidate, Donna Haley, has been endorsed by the Human Dignity Bloc and the United Vault Technicians Bloc. She says, "I'm aware of the rumors circulating about me. I want everyone to know that they're vicious lies being spread by the other candidates in a desperate smear campaign. I have never in my life done anything so depraved, let alone 4 such things. But even if I had, that still wouldn't mean you should vote for me. Consider the fact that I am grossly underqualified for the position, and that both of my opponents are far more deserving. I know nothing about governance. You would be hard-pressed to find a worse candidate than me. I can promise you my administration would be a disaster." Poor Haley, she was the one who was called an adulterer and a communist. And then we see the profile of Nathan Stone. He's the guy referred to in the I Hate Nate posters. His sole endorsement is the Justice Bloc. He says, "This is ridiculous. I shouldn't even be a candidate, and I wouldn't be a candidate if it weren't for all of the dirty backroom politics going on around here. It's sickening. You should all be ashamed." None of these candidates want to be overseer. Why are they running? The next note says, "Notice of postponement." This was written by Terry Hart, the president of the Human Dignity Bloc. He says that voting for the overseer has been postponed due to the tragic events of the past few days. We learned that there has been a spate of murders, and that before they can do the vote for the overseer, the security team here in the vault needs to do an investigation to find and apprehend the perpetrator. He ends by saying, "If we find the killer, we may have found a promising new candidate for overseer."
Got something good for
Why
me?
would you make
Is it
a
giraffe?
murderer overseer? The last entry is Overseer Order 745. This comes from Catherine Stone. Overseer. Effective immediately, the traditional selection process for overseer is hereby ended. In lieu of a yearly election, a citizen will be chosen 1 month prior to the start of his or her term with our mainframe's random number generator, ensuring complete impartiality and fairness. Wow, alright, we just kind of learned a lot here. So nobody wants to be overseer. We don't know why yet. Because no one wants to be overseer, they use very dirty tricks to get other people nominated. spreading lies like you're an adulterer or you're a communist, and resorting to pathetic begging to get people to not vote for you. Oh, I have so many children, do you really want to make them fatherless? It looks like everyone's goal with this election is to vote for the worst of the worst. That's why Terry, the president of the Human Dignity Bloc, thinks that once they find the murderer, that person will have a really good chance at becoming overseer. Not because the murderer is any great administrator or a good leader, but because that murderer is the worst of the worst. Being appointed overseer is a punishment. And then we learn that it looks like Catherine Stone was eventually nominated overseer. Does that mean she was the murderer? She's the wife of one of the other nominees. Remember, Nathan Stone is the man who in the voting pamphlet said that this entire thing was ridiculous and that he wouldn't be there if it wasn't for all of the dirty backroom politics. It looks like his wife, Catherine Stone, or Kate, eventually wound up becoming overseer. When she did, she ended the entire voting process. After she ends her tenure as overseer, every overseer after her will be randomly selected from among all of the citizens of this vault, instead of being voted upon to, quote, ensure complete impartiality and fairness. This must allude to the backroom politics that Nate talked about, and it looks like Catherine agrees with her husband that these dirty tricks were going on. But what were these dirty tricks? Why did no one want to become overseer? And why did Catherine go on a murdering spree? We left the classroom and headed towards the cigar lounge. On the way, we found the corpse of an NCR soldier. The cigar lounge had a few bugs, had a few cigars, cigarettes, and beer, but was otherwise unnotable, which left this floor explored. We then go downstairs to explore floor 2. Continuing along the hallway to the left, we see a door to the computer room. Inside there are more mantises and 2 flickering computers. The first one has all of the same entries that we found on the one in the classroom, and the second one malfunctions. Backing out of this room and down the hallway, we go up some steps to explore more rooms. One appears to be a chemistry lab or a workshop of some sort. Here we find a terminal, but it has all the same terminal entries. Heading out and down this hallway is a stairway leading back up to the entrance. This is the stairway we look down to kill that one rat. So we need to turn around and go back. This brings us to another stairway going down and a door that leads to the Vault 11 living quarters. Down the hallway and down some stairs, we open a door to find a lounge area of sorts with a number of connected doors. There's the remains of what must have been a shop at one point, selling random supplies and food, and then a door to the female dorm, to the male dorm, and to the admin area. Let's explore the male dorm first. Going down the stairs, we can explore the individual rooms on this level. Now remember to open every single chest of drawers and locker you can, because we need to collect all of the Vault 11 jumpsuits. This is for a quest we get from Sarah Weintraub on the strip called Suits You, Sarah. We'll walk away from Vault 11 with 20 some odd vault suits. In one of the rooms we find a functional terminal, but it's locked. In a footlocker near the terminal we find Roy Gottlieb's terminal password. Remember, Roy was the president of the Justice Bloc, one of the political parties here in the vault who is in charge of distributing the voting guide. After learning the password, we can open up the terminal. Inside the terminal, we find all of the same notes that we usually find, but also a security recording. Ejecting the holotape, we can use our Pip-Boy to play it.
She can't do this. It's done. We're done. Nothing's done. She's got the authority. The only thing she can't do is change her own fate. Nothing says she can't change the selection process for future overseers. I say she can't. You shouldn't have toyed with her like that, Roy. We still have the majority. We don't vote for anything anymore. I'm not talking about voting. What then? You would have a sit-in? A hunger strike? Not exactly. Maybe march into her office with torches and pitchforks? Yes. Come on. I mean it. What? Start a revolution? Laws don't outlast their governments. Roy, all we have to do is wait until someone from Justice Bloc gets picked for overseer. Then we have them change the law back. There won't be any blocks after the new overseer is picked tomorrow. Everyone's going to move on. By the time we've reformed, who knows if we'll still be in the majority? We can hold the block together. You don't know that. Besides, what if the computer picks you? What if it picks me?
Good for me?
And your solution is to start shooting? Not if we don't have to. Look, we arm up, we Go to the lower floors, take some strategic targets, power, food, water, just until she turns authority over to us. The other blocks won't support it. They're tired of us having the power. We have the majority. We don't need them. This isn't a vote, Roy. They'll fight back. They've never had the nerve. Hell of a way to test it.
So Roy was voice 1. An unnamed associate in the Justice Block was voice 2. They're talking about Kate Stone and how she has been overseer of the Vault for the past year. None of this has gone according to plan for the Justice Block. The Justice Block has been the largest political power here in Vault 11 for an extremely long time. They've had the majority, and they have felt like they can throw their weight around to nominate whomever they want to become overseer so that none of their members ever have to. But when Kate went on a killing spree, murdering people in the Vault, naturally all of the Vault residents, even those in the Justice Block who weren't high-ranking members, voted for Kate, feeling like she needed the punishment of becoming overseer. But Kate's first act as overseer was to remove the voting process, making all future overseers chosen at random by the computer. This effectively stripped the Justice Block of all of their power. All of this time, they have been able to use the threat of nominating someone else to become overseer as a means by which to get what they want in the Vault. We also get another bit of information here. Voice 2 said, "You shouldn't have toyed with her like that, Roy." How did Roy toy with Kate? Whatever he did to her may help explain why she went on a murderous rampage, knowing that by doing so, if she was caught, she would be nominated overseer. After exploring all of the rooms here in the men's wing, we go around a corner to find a stairway leading back up to the lounge area. But the men's dorm connects to the ladies' dorm, so we can go back down to go down a hallway to explore the women's rooms. Here we can loot more vault suits from the dressers and lockers, but we don't find any more terminals or holotapes on this floor. So going back up, we can go through the admin door. This leads us down a hallway, and we can either turn left to go to security or right to go to the overseer's office. Let's explore security first. There are 2 doors here. One is locked, one is not. The one that is not has a mantis inside, but after it is dealt with, we can loot a lot of containers, and it's here where we learn that the Vault was well armed. We find a whole lot of ammunition. 6 ammunition containers, not to mention all of the boxes filled with hundreds of rounds of ammunition. Even grenades, 25mm grenades, just sitting out here. I guess this armory is in case the Vault is invaded. It's also here where we find the security terminal. Inside we find the same notes shared by the other terminals, but one new one, deposition. This is the excerpt from the deposition of the defendant, Catherine Stone, by Vault attorney Gerard Miles. Gerard is questioning, Catherine is answering. He says, "Okay, let's pick up where we left off, Kate." She responds by correcting him. Catherine. Sorry, right, Catherine, I keep forgetting. Only my husband calls me Kate, she says. Gerard is questioning her about a conversation she had with Roy Gottlieb, the president of the Justice Block. He's the voice on the last holotape we heard who talked about a rebellion. Gerard refers to their conversation as an alleged conversation. She says no, this conversation actually happened. He reminds her that it's his word against hers, and so he asks her to repeat the conversation. She sighs and says that Roy said that my husband's name came up in their meetings about who they wanted to endorse as overseer. They were planning to endorse her husband, Nate. Roy wouldn't say why, but Catherine knew that it was because her husband, Nate, had a regular poker game with some of them, and he'd been on a winning streak lately. They were trying to punish him for beating them at poker by nominating him to become overseer. According to Kate, Roy Gottlieb invited her into his office and said that he could prevent his block from endorsing Nate only if Kate performed sexual favors for him. But not just for Roy, but for the entire block leadership and all of their friends. The Vault attorney Gerard is shocked. He says, "And you agreed?" And she goes, "Well, what choice did I have? They had the majority." She says that this went on for about a month. This was essentially gang rape. She wasn't doing it willingly, she was being forced to do it to prevent her husband from becoming nominated overseer. And then after all of that, when the Vault voting guideline book came out, she discovered to her horror that they had nominated her husband anyway. It was then that she decided to start killing off members of the bloc. She says, "I thought their majority is pretty slim. If I thinned things out a little, especially the leadership, someone else might get elected." The attorney says, "Assuming you weren't caught," but she responds by saying, no, I expected to be caught. That was my best chance. Now, they'll all elect me." The attorney is confused. He goes, "What? They're gonna elect a confessed murderer? You think voters would risk putting it in your charge?" She responds with surprising insight into the human condition. She says, "They have to pick somebody and live with their reasons. You just wait and see." We learn that she was right. Again, at the very bottom, we find Overseer Order 745. Catherine Stone is Overseer. So something horrible must happen when you become Overseer. We learned that they have a new Overseer election every single year. What happens to the old Overseer? Why do they keep having to do this vote every year? For whatever reason, it scares the entire Vault Society. Kate loved her husband Nate and wanted him to avoid becoming Overseer so much that she allowed herself to be raped by the leadership of the Justice Bloc repeatedly over an entire month. It was only after they betrayed her that she went on a killing spree. In the locked door right next to this security wing, we find another armory, lots of ammo boxes, ammunition, and weapons, which leaves the Overseer office last to explore on this level. Heading down the hallway and going down the stairs, we can go through the door to the Vault 11 lower level. Opening the door, we can turn a corner to kill more rats and find two options. A hallway to the right, and then the Overseer's office through the door right next to us. Heading through the doorway, we trip a tripwire. It's connected to this rigged gun. I managed to avoid the blast somehow. And there's a whole lot to loot in this Overseer's office, including plenty of pre-war money, scrap metal, and so on. There is one terminal here, but it says terminal locked. Please contact an administrator. It looks like we have to find a key. Looking through the Overseer's window, we see an atrium out there. Let's see if we can find a way in. Heading out the Overseer's office and turning right, we go down the hallway to find that it's completely blocked up by some sort of cave-in. So we go back and down that hallway that we initially passed to go to the Overseer's office. Continuing along, we find two paths before us, both of which go to utility. Going down the hallway, we find a path to the atrium, but it's blocked up by a cave-in as well. So our only option is to go downstairs towards utility. Going down the nearest hallway, we can kill some rats to turn left and go to what appears to be some sort of storage room. In this room is a door to the reactor. Opening the door, we can kill some mantises, go down a long hallway to open yet another door. Here we find some ammunition boxes in the corner, and we step right into a room partially flooded with irradiated water. But the most striking thing about this room are the sandbag barricades, and behind them, skeletons. In this part of the reactor room, there was a battle. That's why we find so much ammunition down here. Ammunition boxes and even rounds stacked up on nearby consoles. And the bodies, there are so many bodies. It sounds like what Roy said in his holotape actually happened. The Justice Bloc came down here to the reactor level and held it hostage. They took the ammunition from security and instigated a rebellion, just because for the first time, potentially in the Vault's history, everyone was fair game. Anyone could become the Overseer. Since a computer was picking it, anyone from the Justice Bloc, even Roy himself, could become Overseer, and to prevent that, they staged a rebellion. But like Voice 2 predicted in the holotape, this isn't about votes anymore. The majority no longer matters. If the Justice Bloc stages a rebellion, an armed rebellion, everyone else will fight them. And it looks like the Justice Bloc, even though they had the majority, didn't have the numbers to win. These corpses we find here on the reactor level must have been the corpses of the Justice Bloc members. Now heading through a far door here, we find a sub-level completely flooded. It helps if you have the rebreather that you get by completing the quest Volare with the boomers. This device allows you to breathe underwater. However, since it takes up the face slot, it unequips my radiation suit. So you may want to wear something like power armor that has radiation resistance. Swimming around down here, we find more evidence of the armed rebellion. More sandbag barricades, more bodies lying over them. Swimming through the eastern door, we find a storage room with a few ammo containers and other boxes to loot, and swimming west opens an armored reactor door. This leads us to a rather empty room. Turning south leads us through a doorway up some stairs out of the water. This leads us back to the partially flooded room with two options here as well. The right door opens up a stairway which brings us back up to the utility level. However, I want to finish exploring the reactor level. We're going to turn back around and open the armored reactor door, which brings brings us down a hallway to the locked door that we found in the previous room. Unlocking this brings us right back to where we were, in that room where we first discovered the barricades. So the underwater portion of this reactor level is just for those who don't have high enough lockpicking to open up this door, which connects back to the utility section. So going back upstairs, we now see that we have access to the cafeteria and the atrium. Let's go explore the atrium first. Heading down the hallway, we can open a door to the right, which brings us to the ground level of the atrium. And here I found a whole lot of mantises. I had to resort to VATS here to pick off 5 or 6 different mantises. Once done, we can explore this lower level of the atrium. It's here where they must have had assemblies. Lots of propaganda posters on the wall. Here we see that graffitied I Hate Nate poster, which has been turned into I Hate Kate. Catherine judged the vault residents correctly. After they discovered she was a murderer, they all voted for her. Why is it so bad to be overseer? Continuing down the hallway, we go up some steps to the level above, which leads us to the top floor of this atrium level. Here we find an atrium terminal. And on the terminal is the prepared speech of Gus Olson, the ombudsman for the annual overseer election. This was the guy in charge of officiating the election and chronicling it so that people can read about this election much later. At the beginning, he muses that the reason he's there, the reason he's chronicling this election, is to preserve these events for future humanity to read and learn from. But he's second-guessing that assumption. He's starting to believe that the real reason these vault residents record all of the elections that go on here is because they're trying to find an answer to all of this. Perhaps after all of the elections are over, when their story, the story of Vault 11, is told, the answer will be revealed. Maybe that's why they're recording every election. He says, we want it to make sense, to understand why the Vault's mainframe will kill us if we do not offer one of our own as a yearly sacrifice, to fully comprehend why we continue to have these elections, despite the unfettered corruption that has plagued it for what must be decades by now. At last we understand why no one wants to be overseer. At the end of the year, the overseer is sacrificed. Gus continues. He says, elections used to be about shaking hands and kissing babies. But with the rise of the voting blocks and the infestation of bribery, drug trafficking, smuggling, and God knows what else, we want to know why. We actually know what else. They can add to bribery, drug trafficking, and smuggling, extortion, and gang rape. To answer this question, why the Vault mainframe wants to kill the entire Vault unless they offer a yearly sacrifice, Gus went through the archives. He read the account of the first official Vault Overseer. We learn that this Overseer was the only person to enter Vault 11 with a knowledge from Vault-Tec of what was going to happen here. The only one to know that the experiment at this Vault was to demand of its residents a yearly sacrifice, or else the entire Vault would be killed. But Gus surmises that the original Overseer didn't understand why this experiment was going on, or foresee that the residents would vote on the next victim, because if he did, surely he would have guessed that the citizens would have voted for him, the first Overseer, to be the first sacrifice. When they found out that every year someone from this vault was going to be sacrificed or all of them would be killed, they likely were enraged and took out their rage on the Overseer, the only one who knew about this going in. Gus says surely he would have guessed that we Vault Dwellers would choose the sacrifice democratically in the way that we citizens are accustomed to washing our hands of terrible deeds, and that after sacrificing the Overseer, the vacancy in the Overseer and the Martyr would forever fuse the two positions into one. And of course that makes sense. If every year they had to vote for a new sacrifice, and if they just sacrificed their Overseer and have to vote for a new one anyway, they might as well combine the elections into one. The vote for an Overseer is a vote for the sacrifice. Now, they were able to sacrifice the Overseer because they guessed the password to the sacrificial chamber. God, there's a sacrificial chamber here? The password was the first Overseer's wife's first name, Betty. When it was time to die, the very first Overseer walked down into that room crying like a child. Learning the history of the first Overseer, Gus is listless. He doesn't have the answers. This history didn't give him the answers. He does not know. And no one knows why they have to sack Block, not just for revenge of corruption, but what she to the left. In this room, we find a first aid box, but I really don't want to...
The people.
Vault resident to... Because for the past 18 overruled. None of the other people want to deal with that chair because the authority on Black, when he says a person's decision impacts a lot of people, he can also, rather eloquently in the 1997 film, authority tells them to
Wait!
by an authority when their lives were threatened by telling them,
Citizens of Vault 11, you have made the decision not to sacrifice one of your own. You can walk with your head held high, knowing that your commitment to human life is a shining example to us all.
5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on this side as well. 16 years. This vault existed only 16 years after the bombs dropped, which means we're coming upon this scene almost 180 years after these events transpired. It must have all come to an end after Overseer Kate. Due to the armed rebellion, everyone died, meaning no more overseers, which is why we only find 18 bodies. In a sliding door on the opposite end of this wall, we reach the vault mainframe. This was the mainframe that, as we learn from Gus's speech notes, was programmed to kill the entire vault unless it was given a yearly sacrifice. Inside the terminal, we can override the lockdown and eject 2 holotapes, the system recording Vault 11 solution and the automated response of Vault 11 solution. First, we'll listen to the system recording.
Alright, I know you can hear me, so listen up. There's 5 of us left. 5 out of I don't know how many. So, it's over. We've talked and it's over. We're not gonna send anybody to die anymore. So shut off our water, our gases, or do whatever it is you're programmed to do. But we're done listening to you.
Oh, these were the 5 whose bodies we found at the entrance to Vault 11. Well, 4 of the 5. We remember that one of them dropped the gun and walked out. So after the Justice Block rebelled, causing Vault Resident to fight Vault Resident, the only survivors were these 5, and instead of electing a new overseer, and instead of sending one more sacrifice, they decided to defy the Vault. They weren't going to sacrifice anyone anymore. The final holotape is the automated solution response, which is what those 5 survivors heard after they made their decision.
Congratulations, citizens of Vault 11. You have made the decision not to sacrifice one of your own. You can walk with your head held high, knowing that your commitment to human life is a shining example to us all. And to make that feeling of pride even sweeter, I have some exciting news. Despite what you were led to believe, the population of Vault 11 is not going to be exterminated for its disobedience. Instead, the mechanism to open the main vault door has now been enabled, and you can come and go at your leisure. But not so fast. Be sure to check with your overseer to find out if it's safe to leave. Here at Vault-Tec, your safety is our #1 priority.
It was all a diabolical experiment. In true Vault-Tec fashion, Vault-Tec was trying to see what would happen if Vault residents were told to do something completely inhumane by an authority when their lives were threatened. Vault-Tec just wanted to see what would happen. They weren't really going to kill everyone in the vault, but nobody knew that. Not even the first overseer, or else he would have saved his own life by telling them the ruse. The final 5 Vault residents learned this. When they decided not to nominate another overseer, they heard that automated message. Can you imagine what must have gone through their minds? After everything, the decades of voting, the political parties, the corruption, the drug abuse, the scandals, the armed rebellion, their brothers, their family dead, with only 5 surviving. After all of that, to learn that it was all based on a lie? Had they just refused to nominate a sacrifice at the beginning, none of this would have ever happened. They would have all survived. This explains why the people we hear on the very first holotape are so guilt-ridden. The first voice, Voice 1, says, "But we made the right decision," and he's right. At the very end, the 5 survivors did make the right decision. They refused to nominate an overseer. But the other 4 are still racked with guilt because for the past 18 years they've been making the wrong decision. And everything they've experienced since then, all of the deaths, all of their dead family, is because they've been nominating a sacrifice every year. That's why they're guilty. And that's why they all choose to commit suicide. They can't live with the guilt. They don't want anyone from the outside world to learn what went on here because they're deeply ashamed. How could they have done this to people? How could they have done this to their own neighbors and family? They're ashamed of what they've done, so they choose death. They choose suicide rather than letting anyone know what happened here. They think it's a fitting punishment. All but one. Voice number 1 on the holotape refuses to commit suicide. He believes that it's better that the world learn what went on here, that people can learn from this, from all of their mistakes, from all of the unnecessary deaths that happened here. People can learn something about human nature, something about how people tick to prevent something like this from ever happening again. Maybe if these 5 people walk out into the wasteland, they can change humanity in a good way to keep this from ever happening again. But he's overruled. None of the other people want to deal with that kind of shame, so they choose death, leaving only Voice 1, the sole survivor of Vault 11. What likely happened is when he decided not to commit suicide, the other 4 tried to restrain him, to force him to die, because they didn't want anyone to learn what went on here. And so he pulled out his pistol, the pistol he secured for himself during the armed rebellion, and defended himself, killing the last 4 survivors, making him the only one left. He sighs deeply, he drops the gun, and he walks out into the Mojave wasteland.
No, wait!
What can we learn from this? What can we take away from this horrible story? Well, part of this story is inspired by the Milgram experiment on obedience to authority figures. And we know this because, you know that part in the sacrificial chamber where the voice over the loudspeaker commands us to sit in the chair? Those lines are nearly directly from the Milgram experiment. That experiment wanted to see how far people would go when instructed to do something by an authority figure. It wanted to see what kinds of things a person would do if they were told to do it by an authority. This was put together by a Yale psychologist named Stanley Milgram, and what he did is he connected a person to a device that gave very painful shocks, and then he connected a button to that device, and then he sat someone down at the button and told a person to push that button. When the person pushed the button, the other person would get a shock. Stanley Milgram wanted to see how much pain a person was willing to inflict on another person just because they were told to. And so each time the person pushed the button, the shock would get worse. Stanley would sit there and say, "Please continue." The person is sitting there with the button. He pushes the button, the shock gets worse. He would say, "The experiment requires that you continue. It is absolutely essential that you continue. You have no other choice. You must continue." The shocking thing about this experiment is they discovered that even for no other reason than that the experiment insisted, that the researcher told them to, they were willing to cause a great deal of electric shock pain to another human being just because an authority figure told them to. That same situation is mirrored here. Even though we don't want to sit down, we finally sit down in the chair because the authority on the loudspeaker tells us to. The Vault Dwellers would never sacrifice one of their own under normal circumstances, but because an authority tells them to, with threat of their own destruction, of course, they do it. This also mirrors a short story called The Lottery, written by Shirley Jackson. I remember reading this story when I was in 4th grade. I'm sure many of you remember this story too. In that story, a small town in America would have a yearly lottery where they would stone somebody to death as a way to keep the society united. The thinking went, if they could take all of the evils of the past year and project everything bad that went on onto one person and murder that person, they can do away with the evils. And if everybody's doing it, then no one person is a murderer, everyone shares that guilt. And it brings the society closer together because they all share the knowledge that each of them is a murderer. The men, the women, and even the children. In the story, a woman who protests this lottery, this execution from the very beginning, just so happens to be selected as the victim. She gets put in the town square, and one by one, the entire town comes by and stones her of those atrocities, depending upon the and doing what they need to survive. And they're just operating in their own post-apocalyptic on Hidden Valley and the Brotherhood of Steel and Veronica. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss those videos, is the best one will help us better roleplay. enjoy thinking about these kinds of things, even though they don't really matter. They're f***ing turn right around and criticize Vault-Tec for evil, horrible, inhumane experiments like this. Now, of course, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This is just a video game. But I've always believed, and one of the reasons I make these videos is because video games are a new type of art that tell really important stories just like books and movies do. And I think it's important that we reflect on these kind of things, not only just to grow as people, but it's entertaining. I personally enjoy thinking about these kinds of things, even though they don't really matter. They're fictional. These events never occurred. It is just a video game. But I think we can learn a lot about the human condition by taking a look at stories like Vault 11. And if role-playing matters to us, and if being either a good guy or a bad guy matters to us in our gameplay, then thinking about these things, really thinking about them, to understand what decision is the best one, will help us better roleplay. Anyway, that is the great tragedy of Vault 11, and it's one more reason to absolutely despise Vault-Tec. I've shared with you my thoughts, but what are your thoughts? What were you thinking when you walked away from doing this quest in your game? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all of your comments, and I use your comments as inspiration for my future videos. I'm working my way through all of these wonderful Brotherhood of Steel locations in preparation for a video on Hidden Valley and the Brotherhood of Steel and Veronica. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss those videos, be sure to subscribe and click that bell notification. One of our own as a was to do so is how the who operate. Well, I'm not concerned with what the show requires me to do. I really don't want to sit in this chair.
Can continue. For some people, there's important moments that are too scary.
Radiation suit on, so
can you see them? Can you see things? The show requires that you.
Every single chem in my inventory. Yes, every single thing. Turbo, Radix, and Radaway as I pop of the room has robots and machine gun turrets as well. ED is down. Veronica is down. That's down there. Oh God.
Life, fresh things.
Every single chem in my inventory. We get attacked by Robo-Brains and Sentry Bots, armed with Gatling lasers and Tesla cannons. And the ceiling is lined with 4 ceiling-mounted machine gun turrets. But that's just one side. The opposite end of the room has robots and machine gun turrets as well. ED is down. Veronica is down. But with the robots dead, I can hide behind this wall to take off the remaining ceiling-mounted machine gun turrets. Oh, they're back. Okay. Good to see you, Eddie. Good to see you, Veronica. We survived. I don't know how, but we survived. But we're the only ones. Look at these corpses. Each of these was a Vault 11 Overseer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 years. Did this vault exist only for 8 years? Vice, they decided to defy the only
great life
they used to rebel. Not just for revenge, but in order to save her husband. Corpses we find here on the reactor level must have been the corpses of the...
I don't know where that thing looks like. We're gonna have to figure that out later. I actually... One of the annoying things about searching vaults is annoying, bro. It really is. Vaults is not nice. Some vaults are better than other ones, but other vaults are just annoying to search. I just need to stop that searching shit all the time.
Congratulations, Martyr. Your fantastic journey is only just beginning. Please proceed to the light. The light is calming and puts your mind at ease. Go to the light. Welcome. Please sit in the chair. The show is about to begin. Greetings, Martyr, and welcome. If you're here now, it means you've been offered up as a sacrifice so that your vault can continue to thrive. Currently, you may be feeling sad or angry. Perhaps you never got to have grandkids, or to enjoy the pleasures of a fresh cigar. But march with your chin held high, soldier, and remember that each of us has an important role to play. For some people, their role might be to heal the sick. For others, it might mean they will drive a race car or fly a rocket ship. And some of us are meant to forfeit our lives for the good of the people. Sure, it might not be as fun as driving a race car, but it's every bit as important. Let's take a moment to reflect on the moments that made your life worth living. Think about that time you kissed your steady girl for the first time under the bleachers at the big game. Or when you snuck out after curfew to catch that new flick that your parents wouldn't let you see because it was too scary. Boy, were they right. And who could forget when you met the love of your life? What a looker. These are just examples. Do you feel that feeling stirring in your chest as you think of these things? Good. What you are feeling is peace. You've led a great life. Living it has been its own reward. But it is only the beginning. Close your eyes now and imagine what joys await you in the next life. The afterlife. Can you see them? Good.
Oh wait, should I take out the? Bumper, or should I take out the? Did I miss?
even the children. Just because they were told, the refused to nominate
New flick that your parents...
every single overseer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bombs drop. Early sacrifice. Inside the terminal, we can override the lockdown and eject 2 holotapes. The system recording Vault 11 solution and the automated response of Vault 11 solution. First, we'll listen to the system recording.
Alright, I know you can hear me, so listen up. There's 5 of us left. 5 out of I don't know how many. So, it's over. We've talked and it's over. We're not gonna send anybody to die anymore. So shut off our water, our gases, or do whatever it is you're programmed to do. But we're done listening to you.
Oh, these were the 5 whose bodies we found at the entrance to Vault 11. Well, 4 of the 5. We remember that the final holotape is
Of Vault 11. Be sure to check here at Vault 10.
Happen if Vault residents were told to do something completely inhuman to his own life by telling them the ruse. Can you imagine what must have gone through their minds after everything, the decades of voting, the political authority, when their lives were threatened? Can you imagine what must have gone through their minds? Refused to nominate an overseer, but the other anyone know what happened here? They think it's a wasteland. You know that part in the sacrifice?
Instead, it's over.
What a looker.
Every single thing, turbos and machine gun turrets as well. Yeah, Eddie. Good to decide we find more corpses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We reach the Vault mainframe. This was the mainframe that, as we learned from Gus's speech notes, was programmed to kill the entire Vault unless it was given a yearly sacrifice. Inside the terminal, we can override the lockdown and eject 2 holotapes. The system recording Vault 11 solution and the automated response of Vault 11 solution. First, we'll listen to the system recording.
Alright, I know you can hear me, so listen up. There's 5 of us left.
Overseer. Adex and Rad... what, George? Robot Adex and... I just dear K. Early sacrifice.
Body to die. Your head.
Authority. And he's right. At the very end, the 5 survivors did make the right decision. They refused to nominate an overseer. But the other 4 are still racked with guilt because for the past 18 years, they've been making the wrong...
Okay, now that I overrided the system or whatever, how about this? Oxhorn.
Senior Scribe Ritter. Lord of the corpses, we find
disturbing rumors.
Crime spree. Set of recon armor. Seems like a really rash thing.
Sort of fellow. Standing around's not
in my day,
and I take pains to minimize our exposure topside. For this reason, I might be interested in contracting with an outsider who can accomplish certain tasks, some basic, some a bit more involved. An NCR ranger has begun to set up post in one of the other bunkers up top, for example. I want him driven off. Understood?
You want me to kill an NCR ranger? Why haven't you killed him yourself?
Yes, we could kill him easily enough. But sometimes you can learn a great deal by observing people, both enemies and friends. Which is why it will be very interesting to observe how you choose to deal with the situation, and decide which you are, enemy or friend. Do we understand one another?
Oh, okay. I can respect that. But look, I don't do murder for hire.
I never said the ranger had to be killed, and I wasn't giving you the option. I merely asked if you understood. Paladin Ramos will escort you back to the bunker's entrance and set you loose. Notice that I said loose, not free. You are not free to carry the secret of this bunker's location beyond Hidden Valley, until I'm convinced that you're capable and dependable. To underscore this point, you'll be fitted with an explosive collar. Wander off and it will detonate.
Know where you live, Ramos. Open up.
So are you...
A few people in here are going a little
Empathizes. It's
being in...
I collate the... But come to think of it, there were some respiratory problems.
Did too.
Elijah was not the...
I'll grant...
Possibly somewhere...
Major, yes. Come in, he had...
Like The Sims.
Great job.
Approach me.
Alright, so pretty much we did this, but...
he send out these patrols?
Lights out.
To tell him. To ask if the bears are still hunting.
Strange that the Elder should send an outsider.
Take this information back, so that the mutants there have been reasonable in the past, and they may prove...
Training. Serving as his assistant.
I half expected you to say that.
Alright.
Even the children.
At least that's done. I mean, it says that it's overridden. I don't know what that means, but... What does that mean? We can get into the reactor, I guess? Alright, yeah, let's go to the reactor. Maybe that's what that means. Don't tell me that was just a way out.
What is it? Damned if I know. Put up a hell of a fight, though. We had them outnumbered, I don't know, 20 to 1 maybe? They held out as long as they could, lost most of their force before they retreated. Gave us a little parting gift, too. They had some of the plant running, but they shut it all down. Enabled an old security
Marino, I
system,
see you
too,
with
to
the
keep us
follow.
away from the
Thank you.
controls. Jerk-offs. Stay where you are. You're not allowed in there. This is your only warning.
Welcome back. Can I get you anything? Come back soon.
I can take care of that. Got a special discount for you after what you done for us.
Ooh, got something good for me? Is it a dress?
Now that Mr. House is gone, might be opportunities on the strip for an enterprising merchant. You looking to buy some supplies? Thanks.
How are you holding up? Sure. How are you holding up?
Mark my words. Won't be long before the Legion and NCR.
That Doc Mitchell sure knows his stuff, doesn't he?
Hello again. Feeling thirsty? Take your pick.
Well, well, if it isn't the Vault Explorer himself. Welcome back. You do? That's wonderful. Let me see what you brought. All right. That's gonna net you lots of caps, my friend. Do you want to trade all your Vault suits right now? Oh, that makes me so happy. You are too much. Well, well, if...
Another satisfied customer.
Okay, see you soon.
Something on your mind? A lot of the mutants here found out about Jacobstown because of Neil. Our isolation works against us sometimes. Smart. Work.
My word, but that was a lot of chopping in that casino, dear. Someday, I wish.
Something on your mind?
I hope it will snow. Need to tighten up my prices.
Something on your mind? He's got a lot of pull with Nightkin, though.
Stupid big hornets were making noise all night. Stupid big hornets were making noise all night again. You think Marcus could get us some miniguns? Bother someone else. I don't want anything to do with you. Missile launchers?
Hey there. All right. Morning.
Is there something else I can do for you? Yes, specializing in neuroscience, both human and canine. Of course, this lab is nothing compared to what I had when I was with the Enclave. Cyber. Is there something else I can do for?
I hope it will snow later.
Oh, boy. What we're gonna do next time? Let's do this.
It seems Mormon caravan from New Canaan came through the...
Welcome back. Well, you've proven yourself reliable so far. Would you be interested in more important jobs? As much as I like to handle matters personally, I can't be everywhere at once. There is a negotiation with a smaller trading outfit that I'd like resolved as quickly as possible. There's also the matter of Henry Jameson, an employee whose services I'd rather do without. His family connections make it difficult, however. And finally, I need someone to acquire the Gunrunner's manufacturing specifications. This job needs to be quiet. No alarms, no deaths. There's a small trading outfit, Cassidy Caravans, that I'm interested in acquiring. They've been rather competitive, so it's time to buy them out. I have it on good authority that the owner, Cass, wants out of the caravan business. Cass frequently trades with the NCR, so you'll likely find her at the Mojave Outpost. The Jamesons are very wealthy ranchers back in Redding, California, and significant investors in the Crimson Caravan Company. I was pressured into posting young Henry as the manager of the New Vegas branch. As you can see, he wasn't exactly cut out for the job. He was much more interested in gambling and prostitutes, and because of his family, I can't simply fire him. Henry needs to be convinced to quit, one way or another. I won't have a useless employee on the company payroll. The quality of the Gunrunner's armaments is due to their manufacturing process. They craft all weapons on site. I want to know the secrets of their manufacturing process, which means you'll need to find some way to get inside their heavily guarded factory. I would greatly prefer that you perform this job undetected and without killing anyone, if it can be helped. Thank you. Was there something else? I understand. No hard feelings. But you will, of course, keep our conversation on the matter strictly confidential. Of course. Which one? There's a small trading outfit, Cassidy Caravans, that I'm interested in acquiring. They've been rather competitive, so it's time to buy them out. I have it on good authority that the owner, Cass, wants out of the caravan business. Cass frequently trades with the NCR, so you'll likely find her at the Mojave Outpost. Thank you. Was there something else? It's been a pleasure.
Need anything?
Perfect timing. Perfect timing. All right, y'all. That's good. I don't even know what part that is. Part 100 and something. Who knows there? The point is, we got about 3 quests out of the way. It's actually 2 quests. We're getting a lot of shit done. Thank y'all for watching. We're not done yet. We still got another hour left before I get out of here. But thank y'all for watching, and yeah, we're doing our thing.
We need to hear a rugged place. I don't know, I don't know. 4 a.m. in
good stream.
Little Rock. Even though y'all might not know about Little Rock, Arkansas, but they be getting it in. You know what I mean? Maybe 1:30 a.m. in Philadelphia. Miami just don't sound treacherous at 2 a.m. And especially if you're saying 12 p.m. or whatever time. No. You got to name a time that would be treacherous. Okay. Jaceel, what's up, my boy? He said truckers for ACK. Yo, hey, I'm going to drop some merch just for my truckers. Real talk. You know what I've realized about creating content, especially live streaming? I'm giving a tip to anybody and pause with a tip, no diddy. What I've realized, when you give content and lots of content, especially live streams, and, you stream, especially during the day, people who drive for Amazon, people who drive trucks across the country, they want to be entertained because driving is kind of boring at times. And I've realized there's a lot of people who drive trucks. They listen to me. They got me just like in the background, you know, just kind of like getting by their day. And I love you guys for that. So thank you guys for always supporting. And, you know, I want to show you guys some support, all right? If you work for Amazon, salute to you as well. Okay, cool. Miami's closed at 2 a.m. All right, whatever. All right, cool. We're going to get into a few things. By the way, also, did y'all see this? Yo, Rod Wave actually got arrested, and everybody, yo, the internet is so mean. They were just talking about his weight and his height. They didn't even give a fuck about the charge. They're like, yo, this nigga's 5. Look at this. Yo, the internet is the most bullying place ever. This is what I always tell y'all. Like, respectfully to like Lizzo, you know, Lizzo be like, oh my God, y'all fat shaming me. Dudes get it much worse. Like, y'all know how much there's McDonald's comments in every, look, the first comment right here. Heard he had a Big Mac on him. No McDonald's. Like, bro, I'm telling you, like, it's always jokes. Like, guys get it incessantly. You got to deal with it. But anyway, Rod Wave actually got arrested for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Let me make this a little bit smaller. And, yeah, so the booking info was United States, maybe back and forth to L.A. and Miami, maybe went to New York. And I think what probably with you, this is where the buck stops for me. She says, the statement of fish rots from my youth, you lied to me, you manipulated me. All the shit that, you know, respect as we navigate this transition. Thank you, Chance and Kristen. Okay, I think both of them even posted that too. Chance, the rapper wife, Instagram, I think she posted as
Look, an indictment is a probable cause standard. It's the lowest standard in our business. That's why we say you can indict a ham sandwich, right? I don't smell that they have him on the kinds of major felonies that were being teased early on, except for one component. He's got a lot of friends. No one's defending him right now. That makes me a little suspicious. Where are his friends?
Except Stevie J.
It's not lining up right in terms of how they usually do this, Pat. I know I'm right.
When Suge Knight is your biggest advocate, you got some problems.
Rob, go while you're. I want to hear which way. Go to 50 Cent. By the way, play that clip to see where he's at. This is Miami. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is Wes Watson.
Down here at Pura Vida by my pad. Run into the man right here. What's up? Miami's like that. It's a movie. Down here
at go to 50 Cent's Instagram, but go ahead, Vinny.
So Mo, what do you think about the aspect of a lot of people, not just, you know, online ex people making those, you know, those videos posting, but what about the aspect of, because he looks like he's happy, he doesn't got a care in the world, the aspect of all the cameras and all the stuff that he recorded on some Epstein level stuff, that they went in and some major players at Powers That Be went in just to make sure all the footage of all the shit that I had with all these elites was taken out and deleted. And then he flew that plane, he wasn't on it, but this jet with God knows what was on it flew to a place, where was it? Where Antigua.
This guy has all his information wrong. That jet was not being used by him. And also, this is an old video. There's an old video that 50 Cent put up, which I haven't even reposted because I think even if I put context in the caption, people are going to think this is new, but this is the video.
Hey, yo, right now, though, for real, yo, I need to know who fucks with me, you know? Like, just straight up, like I don't have the time. You know, if you fuck with me, let it be known. Because I'm going to this next era and I'm lining up all the allies. If you fuck with me, let it be known.
Again, this is an old video. This is not recent. It hasn't been since the arrest. Hasn't been since the allegations.
Don't fuck with me, be quiet, and I will take your silence as you don't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And it's all love. But if you fuck with me, let it be known, because big thing.
Okay, so
is he saying if you're with me?
Yes. Are you with me or against me?
Okay.
Are you on my team?
But if you're with them, publicly come out and be like, hey, whatever's happening with Diddy, I vote
What
for
I want to know is,
nuts?
tell me one person that supported him.
I know it's supposed to do ethically. And they say, look, I don't believe that he is gay, not that that's a crime, that he is a pedophile. I don't believe it. I don't like these Bieber videos. I think they're misleading. But they all have a but, and it all goes to abuse of his power and what the people around him may have been doing that he was caught up in. Yeah. And that's why they're staying quiet. Now, the problem is also that you got Fitty. I keep getting yelled at for not saying his name right.
50.
Is it F-I-T-T?
You're Chris Cuomo. You say what you want, buddy.
Chris,
you start rapping up in the club right now. You do what you want.
You're from New York. It's 50.
All right. So 50 Cent says bad things about Biggie, about Combs, because it's competition. Suge is saying bad things because it's competition. That's getting covered more than the actual investigation. And that's my problem with this, is there's an overlay of kind of hip-hop culture going at itself. And that's a distraction from the actual...
I don't think 50 Cent is affecting this at all. But I think he's making a decent point to say, he feels the optics of this and how they're trying to deal with this on a high profile level. They're trying to villainize hip hop as, you know, this still like bastard culture that is innately wrong. And these guys, if they've made money, it's like money that's dirty, that's tinted with a lot of crime and taking advantage of people or selling drugs or doing even more heinous crimes like murders. But we'll see. I still think that there's a lot more there than you know, we could just dismiss. By the way, real quick, and we're gonna, you know, hop off the Diddy bandwagon, no Diddy, for a second. Chance the Rapper's announced that he's separated from his wife. Okay, if you guys don't know, Chance the Rapper, this is my favorite song. Everybody know it. Chat, just type it in the chat. You know, it goes just like this.
Ooh, I love my wife. I love my wife. Let's go ride a bike with my wife. My wife's real young, my wife's real small. Let's go to the beach and play with a beach ball. Praise Jesus, God, and my wife. Let's go to the beach and ride a bike. Ooh, I love my wife. I love my wife. Ooh, I love my wife. She is so fine.
Okay, anyway. After, you know, that long-awaited album, after I believe C3 came out, people weren't that pleased with it. People felt like, you know, either maybe his faith has compromised the ability to make great music, or maybe the fact that he's just a simp. He's sprung over his wife, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but he was just basically making an album bigging up his wife. He could have just gave it to her personally. This is shocking because I've looked at him and his wife. Well, actually, I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me be real.